Good afternoon, folks, or whatever time of day it is for you when you hear this. I'm Mac McCarty here again with the Rough and Tumbled channel. Again, appreciate everybody for tuning in. And this story today kind of dovetails off of the last one I told. I don't know what order y'all will hear them in, when you finally hear one of these stories, but I mentioned this older gentleman in the last story I told, talking about how he used to always call me High Pockets when I was a young apprentice. And I guess I am a relatively tall fella. But anyway, I remember this gentleman on a job. This was way down at Natchez, Texas in the river bottoms, and doing a job for Exxon USA production. And they had a big transformer bank to build, and I think some big little pumps to hook up and what have you. And this older gentleman was the foreman for the contractors. And Exxon had just hired a brand new A&M EE electrical engineer. He was fresh out of Texas A&M. Now, before you go to hoorahing and making all these Aggie jokes, listen, I think the Aggies tell more jokes about the Aggies than anybody else. And I'll have to say, known a lot of those Aggies, and it's a sharp bunch. That's a sharp bunch. And proud to know you. Anyway, this old foreman, they were out there on this, getting ready for this job, and this young engineer, fresh out of college, hired by biggest oil company in the world, Exxon. And so I suspect he felt like he was stepping in high cotton right then, with that job with that big company. And he come out and he was lining us all out, and he told us just how he wanted this job, how he wanted it done, how he wanted it installed. And he gave some details. And he got to a certain point and, wanted to know if, talking to the foreman there, do you follow what I'm saying? Well, the old foreman looked at him and he said, yes, sir. He said, I understand just exactly what you're saying. He said, and I have to tell you, it won't work. And boy, that old boy's mouth dropped open, and he just looked at that foreman. He says, I'm an electrical engineer. I've been trained to do this. The old foreman looked at him. He said, but I know you've gone through all that. And he said, no doubt in my mind that you believe what you said is correct. He said, and I don't have any kind of engineering degree in my pocket or anywhere else. He says, but I've been doing this stuff for decades. And he said, I just want you to know what you're telling us you want to do there, it won't work. It can't work. And well, this boy took control then, and he says, look, I've got the information, I've got the books, I've been trained in this, I know what I'm doing, and I'm telling you this is the way I want it done. And Slim looked at him, pardon me, anyway, he looked at him and he said, that's all you got to say. He said, that's exactly how we will put it in, just the way you want it. Well, the boy kind of sat back and he said, I got these boys where I want them. And I don't think that was his attitude, though, but he felt like he knew what he was talking about. But we proceeded to put the job in just like he had said. I mean, exactly. And it came time for D-Day. Came time to try it out. And this old boy lined us all out and got ready and threw that mess on. You know what? Come on, are you ahead of me? guessed it. It didn't work. And this boy was scratching his head, and he says, well, y'all missed something. Y'all didn't do something right. And so they proceeded to go through it, every bit of it. And when it got through, the boy said, well, you did it exactly like I said. And Slim said, yes, we did. He said, well, it's not working. Slim said, that seems to be familiar to me. The boy said, you tried to tell me, didn't you? He said, all I was doing is trying to help you. I was trying to give you a helping hand because of the years I've been out here and because of the things I've learned the hard way. You see, you've just experienced some things I've experienced over the years. Never seen a perfect human being. Never seen anybody that knows it all. But it's okay, bud. We can fix this. We can get it right where it'll work. And you talk about a humble individual all of a sudden, someone that realized that though he had a good education, and he did, I think he made a good engineer, but he had to learn a few of the facts of life and realize that it pays to listen to that experience out there. It pays to listen. My son, when he was an undergrad, he's a PhD in mathematics now, professor, but he had a professor tell him while he was still an undergrad, he says, you listen to the older guys. You listen to experience. That's the wise thing to do. Doesn't cost a thing to listen. Well, folks, I hope that's something that we all can learn from. I've learned it myself over the years. I've had to learn that myself. And hopefully as we age, we get a little wiser. Well, I hope you enjoyed this story. I miss some of these people. I tell you, I miss them. And look forward to seeing them on the other side. That's my hope. And I want to say thanks again for listening in. Till next time, I'm Mac McCarty saying so long for the Rough and Tumble channel.